best idea ever.
When Time magazine called 3D the future of movies.
3, 2, 1.
We doubt this is what they had in mind.
Man, I love these Jackass movies. And whenever I watch them, I'm thinking, wow, you know, when it first comes on, they introduce them and they look like they're having so much fun, and you're thinking, man, these guys are making money doing what they like to do.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, man, I would love to be part of that gang.
I would love if we were doing shit like that.
Yeah, and then as the movie goes on, you're quickly reminded, fuck no, I wouldn't want to do any of this. There's so many simpler ways to get famous than doing this.
I'm really glad that someone out there is doing this, but I'm even more glad it's not me.
Yeah, exactly.
The thing they used to do was like sneak up on each other and shave a divot out of each other's head.
Yeah.
And now they've replaced that with what they call the Rocky, where with one arm you throw water in a guy's face, and as he turns, you hit him as hard as you can with a boxing glove.
Yeah, so you can film it in slow motion, and it looks like those Rocky fight montage with the sweat flying.
And have all the other guys laugh. And I'm like, man, if we tried to do that, it would get done once.
Yeah.
And then lawyers would get brought in.
Oh, yeah. No, lawyers would get brought in. One of us would end up in jail. Somebody would be dead.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think it's a matter of natural selection, purely whether or not you genuinely, after seeing Jackass, think that looks like fun, let's go do that. I mean, they have this commercial at the beginning and end of the films, or a little warning saying, we're professionals, don't try this at home. I think they should take that down. I think they should stop. I think it's the best thing that could happen to the society if they just show this in high schools and then just let nature take its course.
Right. You know, I like the way they say professionals. You're like, we are trained professionals. Do not try this at home. No, you're not trained professionals. You're a bunch of dumbasses.
Well, now, if they've gotten paid very well for doing this, and that right there technically makes them professionals.
Professional dumbasses.
Yeah, well,
Whatever. They don't say what they're professionals of. They just say they're professionals.
I ain't mad at them.
Is a sliding scale based on how much of a dumbass you are.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It depends.
and that's no training with that. That's just like, let's just try this and see if we live through it.
When we started, these guys were a bunch of, like, you know, I've said this before, they were a bunch of 20-something, invincible skater punks. They couldn't imagine being hurt or dying.
Yeah.
And if they died before 30, yeah, so what? I'm going to live.
Full of piss and vinegar.
Yeah. But now that they're in their late 30s, almost 40, Johnny Knoxville's 39, you can see on their faces that they're laughing and knowing this is what they got to do, but there's a lot of trepidation there.
There's fear.
Steve O is in a lot of this. He does a lot more stunts this time around, but whereas before he was all, you know, thumbs up, like his tattoo on his back, couldn't wait to do it. Now he looks miserable every fucking.
Oh yeah, no,
every stunt. He looks miserable.
He's sober now and can clearly see what a stupid thing he's about to do, and he's trapped because he's like, fuck, I've signed the contract, I got to get paid. If somebody bring me a drink.
And they do, and it's something really gross. That's the thing with Steve-O here is that, like, I don't know what his deal is, and I thought, you know, I bet you if I was to watch this again, I'd go, he didn't do as many actual stunts as I thought, but if they had something gross that needed to be done, he was like, you don't even need to pay me, I'll eat this, put it in my ass, whatever it takes. I mean, he was like, there's a scene they take an apple and they put it in this fat guy's ass and then like wedge it in there, and then for no reason at all, it was clearly not part of the plan, Steve-O reaches in, pulls it out, takes a bite of it and puts it back in, and you're like, now why would you go and do that?
Oh yeah.
But then he vomits immediately after doing that.
Oh, he vomits after everything.
I think he just likes puking. I think that's his thing.
I think maybe it's one of those releases where he knows, like, look, I'll do this, but I will purge it right away.
Oh yeah.
For the guy who seemed to like least want to be there and do this shit, he does the most remarkable stuff. I mean,
who is that? Steve-O? Yeah.
He ends the movie with the stunt of all stunts.
Oh yeah, people. I mean, there's
like they say, like, could they pay you $1 million to do it? I'm like, you know what? They actually haven't printed enough money for me to do what he does at the end of this movie.
That's just literally some of the shit they do in this movie. I mean, this is Jackass and 3, and it's Jackass 3D.
Right.
And by this point, you know what you're getting into.
Yes.
I mean,
if you go to this movie and you sit there with an attitude, your lips stuck out, being kind of highbrow, the fuck you walk in
at this
there
point,
for?
you are the jackass.
Yeah, what'd you go in there for? That's stupid.
Yeah,
you
I
know.
mean,
well, you know you weren't going to enjoy it. You're not a better person for sitting there and being an asshole while everyone else is having fun. We were in a theater filled with people who were falling out of their seats, laughing and cheering and having a great time because they knew what they were there for. And that movie goddamn well delivered what they want.
Oh yeah, it's what we've seen before. It's all these all these dipshits led by Johnny Knoxville. We got our favorites in there. We got, as we mentioned, Steve-O.
Yeah, Bam Margera.
Bam Margera. Then we got little Wee Man, and we got
I love Wee Man.
I love Wee Man.
Wee Man is awesome. Like anytime Wee Man is on, he brings the groceries.
Oh yeah, and then we got Chris Pontius. Chris Pontius, who loves to just
show his dick.
Show that dick, boy.
Yeah, and you can't keep clothes on that guy.
No, you can't. I mean, he's ready to take it off and shake his dick at the camera if you do that. He's like a little 2-year-old kid who just don't want to keep his clothes on. And I was gonna say I'm not gonna gag in any of this because you guys gonna think I'm faking it and you're expecting that of me. No, it was one thing.
Actually, dude, there was one that almost got me, and I was looking over to see if it got you because I was like,
was it the one?
The sweaty cocktail?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that almost killed me.
That almost got me.
Wow, that was I thought there was no way they could top like the piss ice cream cone from the last one.
Right.
But this was too much.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
It was.
I had to actually cover my eyes. I can't see this.
No, in this movie you got a lot of gross things. I mean, you got projectile feces. You got people covered in feces. You got people drinking sweat. You got people eating food out of people's asses. You got asses blowing bubbles, little horns. I mean, people will look. There's no way describing it can spoil it. I'm just letting people know what you got in here.
Cam.
That stuff, I'm going to admit, it did test my limits. I was like, wow, man. I mean, I'm laughing, but I really didn't need to see that.
You couldn't have watched a movie with nothing but that, and you don't have to.
No, you don't.
Staggered with really creative stunts that they come up with. You know, I'd say of the three, this is the one where they most come up with innovative new things because we were all going, "What the fuck could they do at this point?" And I'll be damned if they didn't come up with some pretty wacky, fun to watch ideas.
Well, I'm sure they're not all that into getting hurt as much as they used to. Like, there's a lot of stuff that Johnny Knoxville, he introduces and then lets everybody else do.
Sure.
Himself.
Yeah. Anything that, I mean, with these guys, you talking about anything with an animal, you think that's going to be nasty, but no, some of the animals in here just stole the show for me. There's bulls and rams in here that just really just made me laugh. In fact, those are my favorite things, but then you mentioned just some of the props they have. The high five, big fucking giant hand that was smacking people.
With the high five and the piss, the shit slingshot. I forgot what they called it. But, these guys, whatever, you say whatever you want about them. They know how to open and how to close.
Yes,
like the high five was a great opener. It's not the most lethal, but it's a funny gag. It delivers every time.
Yeah.
And then you just build from there.
This is all flour for our friend Bam. We're going to antique him when he gets here.
Okay. What's up? Not much. How you been? High five!
One thing they did here they didn't do well at all in the last movie was when they do those things that aren't somebody getting hurt, they're not something gross, they're just stunts to play on the public who don't know what's going on.
Right.
And here, every time they do that, it's funny as fuck.
Yeah.
First thing I ever saw of Jackass was the TV show when they had the one guy dressed up in a hockey outfit waiting in line at a sandwich shop, and then a guy came in a opposing team hockey outfit, and they got in a huge fight, and it's like no one knew what was going on, and that was funny as hell. There's a lot of stuff like that here that totally sells.
Oh, there's a scene with midgets that's hilarious. I'm gonna say what it is.
Best midget scene ever.
Oh yeah, I mean it's just so much. These guys are creative, but I mean I'm telling you, be warned. The moment you think like, oh, these guys are really clever, that's when they bend over, spread their ass cheeks, and shit on the lens of the camera.
Yeah,
So,
no,
I mean,
it goes there.
It's not safe. Give it about 30 minutes, and then the shit comes, and it really don't stop.
There's something for everybody. and also a thing I will say I found remarkable, like it's one of the few movies where it has an entertaining gag reel, and you stay and watch the end credits to the very bloody end.
Oh yeah, man.
Even like the stuff they cut out, and you watch, hey, I can see why they cut it out, but it's still fun to watch.
It's got a gag reel. It's got a gag reflex. It's got everything.
Oh, man. And you know what? After seeing this, we said it the other night, but it really is true. And it made more sense watching this. These guys really are the Three Stooges of the 20th and 21st century.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the Three Stooges with nutsacks thrown in.
If the Three Stooges were still alive, this is where they would have to step their game up.
This is what would have killed them.
I mean, that's the thing I'm thinking. Like, if they do a Jackass 4, what's left for them to do but actually die on camera?
Well, that's what I mean. Watching this, I'm like, I'm really looking at this and saying, please stop, because y'all gonna do something just so stupid one day, and you're gonna kill yourself.
You know what? 3 is enough. You're right. I don't think we need another one. I mean, sure, I'd go see it. We'd probably laugh our asses off if they did it, but At this point, I'm just like, you know what? We should just let the government pay for their living. And just say, y'all have done your part for society. You can relax now.
Yeah, because Jackass 4 is going to be the underground YouTube video of one of them dying from doing something dumb.
Well, that's the thing. You think that there'll be a true Hollywood story where most of them will come out of it going like, hey, we had a good run and we banked our money well. We did okay. But there's got to be one guy in that group who will blow his money, blow all of it, and then he'll be the one guy out there still doing these stunts, killing himself.
And then he's gonna be Johnny Knoxville. I still got it.
Poor guy. He was so sure he was gonna have an acting career outside Jackass. He was so sure. We all thought he would. He was kind of charming. I could see it. No.
I was thinking
Johnny.
that too.
Oh, that's right. Hey, you can be charming, but you got to learn how to act.
Yeah, he's like, fuck, I guess I'll just go stand in front of some bulls again. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, wow, I don't care what anybody says. I don't think this is where he thought his career was going to go. He does not want to be here anymore.
No.
Oops, hold on. Let me cut the air conditioner off. I'll let this part out. Sorry, people. I thought I cut this off. Sounds like I'm standing behind a jet stream.
I know, right?
Which is
Like in the movie.
One of the things the Jackass guys did. Yeah, man, what can I say about this film?
You might want to say it on the mic.
Who's the real Jackass? Wow, wow, wow.
What just happened?
I'm Leon Austin, and welcome to Spill.
No, it's funny. We are jackasses ourselves. We just don't have to do the shit that they have to do.
No, we don't. Well, we're cartoon characters. We can do it and just bounce right back.
Man, what was I saying a little while ago? Oh, yes.
The jet?
The jet that's in the movie. Yeah, that's funny. I mean, there's a whole lot of stunts in here. I mean, this movie is tinkering on the edge of an NC-17. And
I can't believe it's not. There's more cock in this movie than in any film I've ever seen, even porn. Yeah, these are the dumbest bunch of gay guys you have ever seen.
Oh yeah, no, that's the thing. Not only is it in 3D, but a lot of it is in slow motion. So,
yeah.
I mean, just be prepared. If you oh fuck.
Beware.
If you were that manly guy, I was like, I'm not going to see a movie with a bunch of dicks in it, then you don't want to go see this movie because if anything's going to test your masculinity, it's going to be this film.
These are guys who are comfortable with the male body completely and everything that comes out of it.
And they're just gorgeous. In a manly way.
Listen, when I said that some of the bodily function humor in this and some of the nudity was getting to me, I meant it. I don't know how much more I want to have my gag reflexes tested. I don't know how much more I want to see feces flying in slow motion. Even if they get more creative with it, that just means it's going to get nastier. So I might have had my fill of that. I don't even know how this movie works outside of an audience. I've only seen these movies with an audience that was very enthusiastic about it. I never even really watched the show. And for those people who think that this film might be further evidence of the degradation of society, I can't really blame them. It's that extreme kind of film, that rare extreme kind of film that does really put things in black and white for most people. Either you're going to love it or you're going to hate it. But all that having been said, I once again saw this with an enthusiastic audience. And it reminded me, this is why people go to the theater to see a movie. It's not just to see a movie. It's to share an experience like this collectively, regardless of what is going on the screen. Lowbrow is fine, and it's especially fine when it's done with deceptive imagination and cleverness. I had a great time, so just based on that alone, I'm going to give this movie a full price.
You know what? If you go into this movie, you can't give it anything but a full price. I mean, if you give it less than a full price, it means that you shouldn't have been.
You shouldn't have been in the first place. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't judge it on the same merit you do any other film. All you know is whether or not you find this sort of thing funny. And if you like the other two Jackasses, you're probably going to like this one even more. It's really good, and they use the 3D to really creatively. It's neat what they do with the 3D. This is a full price movie, absolutely.
Yeah. And you make jokes, but these guys, I'm telling you, man, if they don't die first, it's going to come out that they were all homosexuals.
Corey.
If they don't die and they make a Jackass 4, that's going to be the Jackass 4. They're going to fuck that fucking midget on there.
Sorry, we didn't make as much money as we thought.
Why's it got to be me now?
you're taking it to a whole other level.
Yep.
Look pretty happy about it.